Welcome. The next World Cup is still 1,173 days away, but the battle for places in Qatar starts today in Africa, a very different setting from what we can expect in 2022. It's Mauritius against Mozambique in the first round of qualifying.
Accueillons Monsieur Samir Soba, président de la Mauritius Football Association, le président of the MFA, et honorable Monsieur Stéphane Toussaint, Mr. Stéphane Toussaint, Honorable Stéphane Toussaint, ministre de la Jeunesse et des Sports.
We're just getting ready then for the kickoff in a few minutes. It's Mauritius against Mozambique. No shortage of passion and desire in this Indian Ocean island. We're a long time away from the start of the World Cup, but we're starting with 14 home and away fixtures between the lowest ranked teams on the continent. Visitors favourites to go through after 180 minutes. The return match is next week. Mauritius a bit short of competitive action, but they do have 4 foreign-based players here, and they're really hoping to travel back to Mozambique with a lead as we get ready for the customary national anthems and handshakes. Whether it's a final played in front of billions of TV fans or here in a small stadium, nothing quite beats the World Cup, does it? Still the biggest event in world sport. Remember, a home and away match for these two nations, and the one that goes through will be in a group stage of 4 teams, which will certainly do their country's football a lot of good, gives them more competitive action against the very top countries on the continent. So we just saw our referee a few seconds ago. He's from Burundi, Georges Gato in the center of your screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, please stand up, veuillez vous mettre debout pour l'hymne national, for the national anthem of Mozambique.
We're going to start with the national anthem from Mozambique, Patria Amada, beloved homeland. They have a small clutch of fans have made the 6-hour by plane journey to this island. And now, Mauritius. Great reception then for the hosts, kicking off their campaign. They hope it'll be a long campaign, although certainly the odds are stacked against them.
Masagi Sidik Sataka Ismaël, le 17, number 17, Sitoy Edson André, le 15, number 15, Anclava Reynildo Isna, le 7, number 7, Ernesto Stelio Marcelino, le 6, number 6, Kambala Manuel Nanga, le 16, number 16, Wambe Sadari Abdul Rafael, number 19, le 19, Kwambo Witness Chimonio Jao, le 9, number 9, Reginaldo Arthur Fay, le 10, number 10, Borok Clesio Patrick David. The coach for Mozambique is
So we are ready to go then. It's Mauritius against Mozambique. Remember, this is a home and away tie. The winning going through. Let's go through the home team. Here are the lineups.
Number 2, le numéro 2, Lindsay Rose. Le numéro 3, number 3, Marco Doza. Number 5, le numéro 5, Rasolo Finina Francis. Le numéro 9, number 9, Stéphane Nabab. Le numéro 11, number 11, Curson Agathe. Le numéro 13, number 13, Kevin Pertico. Le numéro 17, number 17, Emmanuel Vincent. Number 19, le numéro 19, Adrien François. Et le numéro 20, number 20, Jérémy Villeneuve. L'entraîneur pour Maurice, the coach for Mauritius, Mr. Akbar Patel.
There you have it, there are the teams. We can expect Nabab and Nazira to start up front, the number 9 and 10 in goal. The captain is Kevin Jean-Louis in your picture. Mozambique, the visitors in yellow, and they'll pick from right to left in this first half.
The fourth official, Mr. Nkurunziza Thierry from Burundi.
So it's Mauritius, it's Club M, or the Dodos in this part of the world, looking to get into the second round here at the Stade Angelé in Bellevue, just to the north of this island. Very beautiful island it is in the Indian Ocean. So we have the last huddle from the players from Mozambique, who will be expected to go through. Favourites, but not huge favourites at the moment. Mauritius are ranked 147 in the world. Mozambique currently 116, coached by Luis Gonçalves. His first game in charge. It's been quite a busy summer in Mozambique, put it that way, in terms of the management of that country. Gone through 3 coaches. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the game. And to Os Mambos, ready to kick off. They'll be hoping to take that lead back to the Stadio Zimbeto in Maputo, which is one of the harder places to go to in African football. Anything less than a win for Mauritius would make it very, very tough indeed for the hosts. Led by Akbar Patel, who's in his 4th stint as coach of Mauritius. It's going to be Reginaldo, the Mozambique forward, to get things underway. He'll be hoping to get a goal or 2 this afternoon. Yeah, underway. Already the referee having a word with Reginaldo. I don't think that was a legal kickoff. Let's see if we have actually started. We have. That was a rather strange start to the match, wasn't it, from our referee today, Georges Gatto. Still getting ready now to kick off. Just waiting for the players and the officials to get ready then. The officials are from Burundi today. Just a bit of team news. Player to look out for is Lindsay Rose, playing at centre-back this afternoon for the hosts. A French youth international, born in France. Recently joined Aris Salonika after a 6 months loan spell in Greece. A former Lyon player, played 16 games in Ligue 1, so probably the best player, most experienced player in red this afternoon.
Number 18, Kumbane Kamo Kamo Kevin. Number 1, le numéro 1, Hugo José Ventura. Le 14, number 14.
Going through the teams again.
Antonio
For the fans,
Dayo Domingos.
this,
Le numéro 2, number 2.
Angele Stadium in the north of the country.
Le numéro 21, number 21, Fernandez Manuel Celso Thomas. Les substituts pour Maurice, les réserves pour Maurice, the
Go
substitutes.
through the
for Mauritius.
teams again. So as I
Number
say, a key
16,
player to look out
numero
for
6,
is
Christopher
Rose, probably the most
Caserne.
experienced player, top
Le
player.
numéro
Also
6,
look out
number
for
6,
Kevin
Fabrice
Brew,
Augustin.
former
Le numéro
Ipswich
18,
Town player,
number
played 4
18,
years in the
Adrien
championship.
Baudelaire.
Currently
Le
at
numéro 14,
Dinamo
number 14,
Bucharest.
Jacques Désiré Patat.
Looking, as I say, to
Le numéro
Nababa
7,
Nazira, who's a real
7,
crowd favourite up
Andy
front
Sophie.
for the goals.
Le numéro 4, number 4, Walter
Kelson
Serrat.
Agat and Villeneuve, who also plays his football in France, looking to support that front too. Jeremy Villeneuve, another French-born player. There's many of them in the Mauritius team. Actually came through the famed Clairefontaine training academy. Currently plays his football in National 2 in France, which is the 4th level of football for Bourges. As for Mozambique, they had a disappointing summer. They just missed out on qualifying for the Chan, which is the competition for players based only in domestic leagues, losing to Madagascar. Lost 1-0 away, 3-2 at home. Going out on the away goals rule. And that's one of the reasons that Luis Gonçalves has come in. Gonçalves just about ready to coach his first game for the national team. George Gatto, just making sure everything is in order. We're ready for Mauritius against Mozambique. Mauritius, the hosts, kicking from left to right in the red. Remember, this is a home and away fixture. Away goals will count, and the hosts would dearly love to get into that second round. It will give them so much in terms of experience at a higher level. They really do lack experience playing international matches. It is expensive, obviously, to get around this part of the world. Team, as I was saying, 157 in the world, so it will be a big surprise if they can get through this, but they do have high hopes, especially with Lindsay Rose coming in. A really good centre-back, played at Liga, currently playing for Aris Salonika in the Greek league. Played at Valenciennes and Laval as well in the top 2 divisions in France, so plenty of experience there, and they'll be looking to him to really lead the team now. Let's see how things settle down in these early minutes. Bound to be nervy. This is a World Cup game. Doesn't matter whether it's in a shiny new stadium in Qatar or in a small stadium, it's still a World Cup match. Bound to be some nerves as the first cross comes in for Mozambique. The header from Reginaldo was put wide. He'd love an early goal. A wry smile there from Reginaldo, the forward. Nice cross it was too. A couple of Mozambique players went for that. Plays his football in Kazakhstan, does Reginaldo, and really shows the globalisation of football. There's players from Greece, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, France, Portugal, Romania, all have made a long, long journey to Bellevue. You're watching action from the World Cup qualifiers. There are 14 of them taking place this week and next week on a home and away basis. 54 countries battling for 5 slots in Qatar. First round of 28 lower ranked teams over 2 legs. And the winners going through to the 14 format I was talking about. It starts in March 2020, qualifying going through all the way through to 2021. The long range shot from that man Reginaldo again, and that's not going to trouble our goalkeeper for Mauritius today, Kevin Jean-Louis. So as I was saying, there are those 14 ties this week. Actually reverting to the 2014 format, you may remember. In 2018, it was the winners of groups going through, but different format this time, introduced by CAF. It will end up with 5 home and away matches. They'll be exciting, won't they? But a long, long way to go till we get to that stage. We have the first round and then a long second round. 54 nations in this continent, 5 going through. Something should be more, but Africa had a bit of a disappointing World Cup. So their claims for another spot or two falling on deaf ears. Egypt, Morocco, Nigeria, Tunisia and Senegal. Only one win, which was Nigeria's win against Iceland, you may remember. Apart from that, draws and quite a few defeats for African countries. Will they do better, I wonder, in Qatar? So far, Mozambique playing well. Plenty of possession. A long raking ball from Manuel. It was a good ball too. Danger here for the hosts. There are 2, 3 in the box. Reginaldo wanted it, couldn't quite go to him. And Mauritius have to settle here, don't they? Looking a little bit nervous. You can forgive them for that. It's Perticots losing the ball. Mozambique looking just a little bit more technique than the hosts, which you would expect. A team that just missed out on the Africa Cup of Nations in an incredibly tight group. Ended with Guinea-Bissau 9 points, Namibia 8, Mozambique 8, and Zambia 7. They went out actually on head-to-heads. So very nearly reaching the showpiece in Egypt, not quite making it. And you may remember their one competitive game in 2019 in Guinea-Bissau, conceding a 90th minute equaliser to be denied a spot at the AFCON. It was a real blow to Mozambique, a country that loves its football. And they would certainly be expected to go through after 2 legs against a more inexperienced Mauritius team. Raphael starting things going again, but Mauritius cut that one out. Edson is the big 17 in yellow. I think you'll see a lot of the ball this afternoon. Zinedine. It's it long, it turns into a decent ball, doesn't it? Reginaldo's in the middle. Reginaldo can't quite get to it. And there was some desperate defending there from the Mauritians, but it just about did the job. His home coach Akbar Patel in his 4th stint in the job. His team rather dominated so far, one has to say. It's a good start for Mozambique. So that rather put the curse on them there. That was a poor pass. There is Luis Gonçalves, who just took over the top job in Mozambique football. It was a tumultuous summer there. He was named as new coach. He's the 3rd actually in a month. Abel Xavier, I'm sure you remember him, the former Liverpool defender, leaving, and his replacement Vitor Martine, not lasting long. Just took over for that Chan qualification that didn't quite work out, but Martine still part of the Mozambique setup, working with Gonçalves. Familiar figure of Abel Xavier, been in charge since February 2016. What Gonçalves can do with the national team as first half attack, wasn't a real one, and nicely cut out. A couple of Mozambique defenders, including Manuel. So no goals in the first 8 minutes of play. You're watching World Cup action, qualification. Mauritius against Mozambique, home and away. And the team that goes through after the 2 legs will qualify for that group stage. Let's take that time in the middle of the park from Raphael. So it's kind of to look technically a stronger outfit to Mozambique, who's playing a slightly higher level of football in general. Have players who play regularly in Liga with Mexer, a couple in South Africa. Klesio with Gabaka in Azerbaijan. They're spread pretty far and wide, although the first destination, as you would expect, is Portugal for players who leave the country. Marcelinho with a shot. Oh, and what a strike it was! Mozambique strike early, and Marcelinho with a super strike. First blood for Mozambique, and it's left the home fans absolutely stunned, but one has to say, the first real touch of class. Marcelinho making it 1-0 for Mozambique. You can see there really wasn't picked up. It was a good 30 metres out. It was a good strike, wasn't it? And Kevin Jean-Louis just a little bit slow to get down, but all credit to the Mozambique midfield player. Wasn't afraid to shoot.
Number 7, le numéro 7, Ernesto Stelio Marcelino.
And what a perfect start for Luis Gonçalves' boys. As I've said, they've come from far and wide, Portugal, South Africa. And from Mozambique, obviously, as well. Even that's a bit of a long journey. Only got together a couple of days ago, but they've really started well. And that was a good strike. Marcelino making it 1-0. Mauritius have it all to do now. The first thing they need to do is get some possession and just calm some nervy players out there, which you could expect. Big game for the players in red. Mozambique have settled very well, and Gonçalves will be happy with that. And they have a goal, an early goal with Marcelino. Really getting his bootstraps behind that. Some glum faces there on the Mauritius bench. A long way to go. It's over 180 minutes, remember. So not over for the Dodos. But not a good start, and Mozambique are dominating. Mauritius in international football since 1947, but for the first 20 years of their history, only played Reunion and Madagascar, the local rivals. Did once qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations in 1974, probably the high point in their football, losing all 3 games in Egypt. A couple of World Cup qualifiers over the years, including one against Uganda ahead of the 2014 event. So not looking too happy, are they, the Mauritian fans? Paid 50 to 100 rupees for a seat or a place on the terraces. That's about €2.50 or €1.25. They've competed in some regional tournaments. They've won the Indian Ocean Island Games a couple of times in '85 and 2003. That's a competition that involves Reunion, Madagascar, Maldives, Mayotte, Comoros, and the Seychelles. One-0 down. Have some work to do just to get control of this game. There's Francis there winning a free kick. Mozambique showing a much better technique, no doubt about that, and they've settled very well and scored a super goal with Marcelino in the 7th minute. Mozambique, a nation with richer history in terms of reaching big tournaments. What can Mauritius do on this attack? That time that was Francois who was frustrated. It was Francis, the right back. Cross, that was a good cross, you know. It was the goal scorer, Marcelino, with the desperate header, but it was a very effective one. Let's raise the temperature a bit in this tropical island of Mauritius. Perticots with the throw. Powerful header from Manuel. Perticott's going to be an important player for them. He's one of their stronger players. And offside. There's offside on this near side. Nabab. And just straying a metre or two too far forward to cheer about for those home fans. You can see that. Just a yard or two offside, a metre or two. No doubt about that from the Burundi officials. Fifteenth minute of play, 1-0 to Mozambique. Excellent long-range strike from Marcelino, the difference so far. The visitors have been on top so far. While it's 1-0, the hosts will hope beyond hope they can get something from this first leg match, remember, in World Cup qualifying. So dangerous up front is Reginaldo. Foul there against the centre forward. Not the most obvious one though. Mauritius have to be very careful. The Mozambique striker, very dangerous player he is too. There's another offside. So Mozambique looking to double their lead. They're playing some nice passing football at the moment. Reginaldo and Whitty looking dangerous up front. Oh, lost the ball there, did Kevin Jean-Louis. Just for a second, I thought a second was going to be on a plate, but relief. It was a foul, according to Georges Gatto, referee this evening. There's Rose, the key man, the number 2. He's going to be a vital player for them if Mauritius are going to get back in this match. So Perticott's on the left-hand side. Mauritius bench and coach Patel with some thinking to do already. Just saw Perticott's one of the stars of the Indian Ocean Island Games this summer, where Mauritius came second. Here's a half chance, and that's just gone over. Nabab, it just bounced up quite nicely for the big man. He couldn't get it under control. Easily the best chance so far for Mauritius. And Nabab probably should have done better. Looked for the lob, and it floated high over the bar. It's an encouraging sign. So Nabab's lob, the best that Mauritius have come up with so far. It's too far, you know, the crunching challenge that time. Francis, no foul. So 1-0 for the visitors. But Mauritius have just come close with Nebab. A lob just floating over Jean Nebab. Never scored for his country. Too far there. Some glum faces there, aren't there? There's a long, long way to go. So Marcelino on the deck. Took a knock that time. The goal scorer. Just talking about those Indian Ocean Island games, which was fairly successful for Mauritius, who drew against Seychelles and Madagascar, won each for both of those games, which got Patel's men through to the next round. They beat Mayotte in the semis 1-0, losing the final against Reunion after penalties. And that was a very good run. A bang in the face. Marcelino. Okay, play goes on. No drop ball rule in world football anymore. You may have seen one of the changes introduced by FIFA over the summer. 1-0 to Mozambique. They deserve their lead, one has to say. Manuel, the sturdy number 6 in the middle of the park. The goal scorer, Marcelino. Gonçalves will tell his men that they've got to do too much more keeping the ball. If they go home with a 1-0 win, they'll be absolutely delighted. Isna, cross that goes astray. You can see a Liverpool fan there. Liverpool recently opened academy, in fact, in Mauritius. So cross comes in for the visitors. Danger not over for Mauritius. Isna wants it back. Isna gets it back, but quite right, keeping the ball. No rush, leading 1-0 away from home. Just talking about that Liverpool Academy, opened early this year. It's only the second, actually, in all the continent of Africa. A lot of Liverpool fans on the island of Mauritius. It was opened with some fanfare by the Mauritian Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth, with a certain Bruce Grobbelaar, Liverpool legend, goalkeeper from Zimbabwe. So if you're a Liverpool fan in this part of the world, it's a good time to be around. It was nicely stopped by Rose, probably the best player on the pitch in red, certainly most experienced at the top level, Lindsay Rose. 16 games at Lyon in the first division in France. Well, the thundering challenge from Francois made a little bit of that. Some smiles in the stands there. I don't think that was anything too dangerous. The hosts get a free kick. Miscontrolled that time by Francois. Halfway through this first half, we've seen one goal. What a good one it was too. Marcelino, right-footed shot from distance. Mistake at the back from Mozambique. Here's a chance for the hosts. Comes onto the left foot of Nazira. This time it didn't quite go down, and that's going to bounce over Frank's bar. And a corner. Now the crowd really getting behind their men, sensing that this just might be the time. It's a compact stadium, the Stade Angelais in Bellevue. Across his paw from Perticots. A better delivery than that against pretty well organised Mozambique back four so far. Say done too much wrong. There's that one chance that came to Nababa, long ball over the top that just bounced nicely. Gonçalves won't be happy about that, but that incident apart, pretty impressed by the team in yellow. And up front, Marcelino, Reginaldo, Witty, pretty dangerous, don't they? Nabab couldn't quite get to that. It's the giant striker, number 9. But he does get to this. Nabab, what kind of cross has he got on him? It's a good one, it's a real chance. It comes across and put wide. Nazira was at the end of it, but couldn't get enough on. And suddenly Mauritius are looking dangerous. The fans know it, don't they? It was an excellent cross from Nabab. And Nazira just threw himself at the ball, couldn't get to it. The diminutive Villeneuve will take the corner, player based in France. It's a good one as well, all the way to the back post, but Francis couldn't quite get to it. We haven't seen too much of Villeneuve so far, have we, Jeremy Villeneuve? It's a nicely flighted corner. Third game for the national team. And Mozambique are warned. So poorly played. Mozambique leading 1-0. Os Mambas. Some defending to do here. Got a foul. They've been playing international football since 1975. The day of independence, in fact, when they played Zambia, beat them 2-1. Have qualified for 4 African Cup of Nations. They've not got to the World Cup finals. Never come too close either, frankly. Last appearance in the Africa Cup of Nations in 2010. They drew with Benin before losing to continental giants Nigeria and Algeria. Before that, in '98, they qualified as well, losing 3. Egypt, Morocco, a draw with Zambia, excuse me, getting 1 point from 1998. Similar story in 1996, where they qualified in South Africa. Drew their first game before losing to the Ivory Coast and Ghana through, with Tunisia in 96. 86. Lost all 3 games, did Mozambique. As I said earlier in the match, just missed out on the Africa Cup of Nations this time, conceding a 90th minute goal. Is Villeneuve, busy, diminutive player in the middle of the park for Mauritius. Need his technical ability. Anyone that comes out of Clairefontaine is going to be a good footballer. Nabab down the left. Nazira wants it, but no, the passing not quite good enough. Nazira, good determination, good character getting it back. Perticots will win a corner. It's been a good 5-10 minutes for the hosts. Perticots is working hard. Plays for Pamplemousse, the team that dominate the local league. So Villeneuve again with the corner. Just punched out by Frank. Mozambique clear things up. That was strange pass, just put completely out of play. 4 foreign-based players in this Mauritius squad today. Lindsay Rose, the most experienced, number 2, playing at centre-back today. Just moved from Lyon, as I was saying, to Aris Salonika. The hosts are 1-0 down, have some work to do. Mozambique knocking it about quite well. More danger, Rose does well. And a second time, will need his experience at the back. Villeneuve again, with space. I tried to do too much. They got overconfident that time. Here's a real chance for Mozambique on the break. Decide to go back, to go forward. Nothing wrong with that when you're 1-0 up away from home. Through there, and a little bit of hesitation from the goalkeeper, and it just went over. Kevin Jean-Louis came, but he didn't get it. Just for a second, the man in your screen, Marcelino, thought he was going to get a second. He's proved a really dangerous character, hasn't he? Just came to him there, and good vision, but you have to say good defending as well. It was Vincent doing just enough to close down the danger man in yellow. Manuel Vincent. Kevin Jean-Louis might have got a knock there. Luis Gonçalves is sensing blood maybe, 1-0 up. It's very nearly a second. You're watching live pictures from Mauritius, where Mozambique lead a 1-0 in World Cup qualifying. It's a home and away format for the right to go into the second round. A super goal scored early on from Marcelino. Coach Akbar Patel gives a couple of instructions to Villeneuve and Vincent. I think the goalkeeper's okay. Made of pretty tough stuff. So play goes on, half an hour, a little over half an hour gone. And that Marcelino goal is the difference. It's fair to say they just about deserve it to Mozambique, but a long, long way to go. Throw one by Nabab. Surprise in selection was that Patel left out Kevin Brew. He'll come on in the second half, punched out by Frank. Kevin Brew on the bench. 4 years playing with Ipswich in the second tier of English football championship. Recently signed for Dinamo Bucharest in Romania. Surprised that he wasn't starting the game. Spent a year in Cyprus with Apollon Limassol. Along with Lindsay Rose, the most experienced players for Mauritius. Perhaps a weapon in the second half for Akbar Patel. His team are 1-0 down. Well, dive going down, that might be interpreted as a very dangerous tackle by Francis. It was certainly high. Mozambique don't like it. And Marcelino couldn't quite believe what hit him, crashing to the turf. And well, judge that one for yourself. It was certainly a high tackle. Francis had his eye on the ball, but my word, that was a high tackle, and some referees would have brandished a card. Some would have brandished a red. There's a let-off that time, though, for Francis. Free kick then for Mozambique. First leg qualification tie. Second leg will take place on the 10th. So that should be easy for the goalkeeper. He's punched it down rather than up. And a real let-off for Kevin Jean-Louis. Only Jean-Louis knows what he was doing there. Seemed a fairly nice height for the goalkeeper, but he elected to punch it down. Very nearly got himself into trouble. A let-off from Mauritius. Can they make the most of it? Comes Perticots. Perticots gets the cross in and wins the corner. It's been an entertaining 35 minutes, hasn't it? We've had a goal, had a couple of chances, some wild tackles. So there might be one or two more goals in this. Perticots this time with the corner, not Villeneuve. Dealt with. Perticots will trot over to the other side. Pitch to take from the right as well. You know, he's gone into the centre. Perticots. Mozambique taking no risks. Everyone back to defend, and that should be easy for Frank, and it is. Quality of goalkeeping is important as well. Kevin Jean-Louis has been a bit hesitant, let's put it that way at times. Frank hasn't put a foot wrong so far. Frank, who plays his football for Ferroviario Maputo in the capital. Wayward ball, winning a third cap. It's Frank, goalkeeper who played in that game I was talking about at Guinea-Bissau. Lionel Pendula dropped for this game. Will he be back, I wonder, for Osman Bass? The other goalkeepers in the squad are Jose Gorrigo and Vito Guambe. So far, Frank has done well for me, 22-year-old. Rose hits it long. Isna with a header. Mozambique have the confidence to play their way out, and they do that really well. Luis Gonçalves will like that bit of play. Mozambique keeping the ball really well. Players showing the confidence and the technical ability just to play their way out of trouble. With 8 minutes to go to half-time. So far, so good for Mozambique. Luis Gonçalves sent his men out with a solid 4-4-2. Scored an early goal. They've been pretty solid, apart from that one chance in the 17th minute when the long ball just bobbled up for Nabab. Couldn't get it under control. So I think if you'd have offered this 37 minutes ago, Gonzalez would have accepted it. Second leg is next week. Oh, long ball played out to Nazira. We do this time, waits for some reinforcements, but it wasn't the right ball. It was the right idea, quite the right ball though. Serene game at the back as number 17 makes out. Normally a pretty good sign for a centre-back. So Mozambique come again, looking for a second before half-time. Kelson in a bit of trouble, that nearly comes across to Reginaldo, danger not over. The visitors want a penalty, they don't get it. Cleared by Nabab. Ball out, just ends up being a good one. Not sure if he quite meant that. Perticots. And a let off for the hosts. Mozambique screaming for a penalty. And as strange as it sounds, Akbar Patel won't be too disappointed if it stays like this at half-time. I think he needs to regroup. Moment, Mozambique looking quite strong. Mauritius proved me wrong here. Here's Rose, key figure at the back for the hosts. Salonika player. Frank comes, a little bit of hesitation. Mauritius playing with two out-and-out forwards, Nebab and Nazira. We don't see too much of that in modern football. Tackle again. Mozambique win the ball back. Pretty well organised so far. It's a wayward ball out to that far side. 1-0 for the visitors. Early strike from Marcelino. The difference. Mauritius have good memories of playing against Mozambique. They did beat them back in 2015. Their first ever win in the African Cup of Nations qualifying. This was for the 2017 event. They weren't too far from qualifying, Mauritius, that time, you may remember. To face the corner. Gonzalez happy about that. Good work rate, has to say. The visitors. Very humid conditions. It's an Indian Ocean island. Rose fails to head that. He really should have. Danger not over yet. That was poor defending from Mauritius. Need to do better, and they do. The last thing they want to do is concede another goal. So good play from Mauritius to tidy that one up. Doors up with the throw. Rose looks to drive his team forward, certainly capable of doing it. Best defender in red. Paper anyway in terms of experience. Couldn't do anything about that first goal. It's a shot from distance. Perticott's really working hard this evening, isn't he? Over 20 degrees at the moment on this island, still quite humid. Zinedine launches another attack. It's quite a useful pass with two yellow shirts up against Kelson Agat, who did pretty well, didn't he? To get the ball out of play for a throw. Not a position a fullback likes to be in. Out by Dorza. Again, he goes to a yellow shirt, picked up in the middle of the park though by Mauritius, who have won perhaps last chance in this first half, but Mexer showing all his experience and awareness, anticipation. No danger. Just 1 minute for added time.
Minimum added time, 1 minute.
Mexer plays his football at Bordeaux these days. €4 million move over the summer. He's played regularly for the team from southwest France. Talking of France, his Villeneuve plays his football in Bourg, France as well. It's one last chance in this first half for Mauritius. Well, if they pass like that, to have possession again though. Just hacked in by Rose. He knows it's now or never in this first half, but Mozambique clear up as well. Looks like it'll be 1-0 at half-time. But Rose has to be careful, and he is. It's a foul on Lindsay Rose, and that should be that in the first half. Just waiting for George Gatto to blow his whistle for the last time. There it is, half-time. It's Mauritius 0, Mozambique 1, with a super early strike from Marcelino. Powered the ball past Kevin Jean-Louis. There was a chance 10 minutes later for Nabab, who couldn't quite control his lob. And this is the goal scorer. The difference so far, Marcelino with that long-range strike, 1-0. Mauritius have thrown everything they possibly can at Mozambique, but the visitors have defended pretty well, especially with Mexer imposing himself at the back.
Give you happiness. Anytime I sleep, I think of you, baby. Nobody can do me like you do. And you know it's true that I will love you. There's nobody like you. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. When you're mine, I never leave you. I always love you. You're my number one. Forever love. My number one. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you. When you're mine, I never leave you. Always love you. You're my number one. Forever love. My number one. My number one. My number one. I don't love anybody like I love you, girl. You are the finest. Many, many stars are in the sky, but you are the brightest. You are the one I love. Baby, I can never do you wrong, no, no. Cause you be my baby love. Oh yeah, see you. I love you like there's no tomorrow. Anywhere you go, I'll follow. Give you my heart, give you my soul, and take away all your sorrow. Baby, don't you worry, don't you? I got you, no worries. I am your man, and I know you want the same. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you. When you're mine, I never leave you. Always love you. You're my number one. Forever love. My number one. My number one. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. I love you. I love you. When you're mine, I never leave you. Always love you. You're my number one. Forever love. My number one. I ain't never seen a girl like you, and nobody can love me like you do. You know it's true that I will love you. Nobody like you. I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. When you're mine, I never leave you. Always love you. You're my number one. Forever love. My number one. My number one. Oh, my number one. I love you, I love you. I love you, love you. When you're mine, I never leave you. Always love you. You're my number one. Forever love. My number one. Yeah, my number one. Love me, yes. I know. She love me, hey. But she was not enough woman to me. I am my baby's birthday. I cheated on my baby. Not nice daddy, yo. She love me, hey. I cheated on my baby. She loved and I miss her so. She was my everything. I committed the sin. She loved me, baby, oh. Me and her, now we are strangers. We are supposed to be lovers. Don't pass me, baby, oh. To repeat all yesterday. Those memories last forever and a day. Now this could be the start of our love story. You and I were mine, you and I were mine. Why don't we dream of places we can go? I see us rolling down the hills of snow. Today is just a taste of where we can go. You and I were mine, and I were mine. She loved me, but she was not enough woman for me. She loved me, she loved me, she loved me. I am my baby's birthday. I cheated on my baby. Not nice daddy, yo. If sorry was a drop of water, for you was a deep as a river. You bring out the boy in a man, so that you can be stuck in a Mauritian land. Oh my God, it's not turn me out yesterday. Those memories last forever. This will be the start of our love story. You and I, woman, you and I, woman. Why don't we dream of places we can go? I see us rolling down the hills of snow. Today is just a taste of where we can go. You and I, woman, you and I, woman. You love me, but she will not enough woman to me. I am my baby birthday. I did it on my baby. No nice that you know. She love me. I did it on my baby. She loved and I miss her so. Can't afford to lose you. I'm talking to you. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? She loved me, baby. I can't afford to lose you, no.
Welcome back. You're watching pictures from Mauritius. It's Mauritius 0, Mozambique 1 in qualifying for the World Cup. This is the first round of qualifying, home and away, with the winners going through to the group stage. We've had a super strike early on from Marcelino, and that was the difference so far. And it will be Mauritius kicking from right to left in the second half. And they really do need a goal before the game. Their coach, Akbar Patel, was really saying they needed to go to Maputo with a lead. Maputo, a very, very tough place to go to. So they need some magic in the second half. There's an early foul on Rose, who's playing in Mauritius for the first time. It's his third international cap. French-born player, so chosen Mauritius, has Mauritian roots. To get some international football. Coach Patel was saying that the foreign-based players have adapted pretty well. We've seen Jeremy Villeneuve as well as Rose in that first half. Andy Sophie, Kevin Brew are on the bench. But they do need a first leg lead. Play to some full houses at the recent island games that I was talking about. That's ended up with Mauritius coming second. Akbar Patel did concede that Mozambique probably have a better technical level than Mauritius, and we saw that in the first half. Nanga is down. It's been outstanding for me in that first half. The number 6 for Mozambique. Sent, tumbling to the turf by the diminutive Villeneuve. The foreign-based players I was talking about. Story of that first half, controlled performance, I thought, from the visitors. It's a really good strike from Marcelino. Nabab, 10 minutes later, nearly equalising, just seeing a lob float over the bar. That was the foul on Nanga. He's got a bang in the mouth. Should be okay. Tough character. One of the best players on the pitch for me. So, getting ready for this second half then. Mozambique with a 1-0 lead. Remember the second leg next week in Maputo, the capital. If it stays like this, very, very confident they'll go through to that second round, the group stage. First attack of this second half with Mozambique. So Perticots winning the ball back for the Reds. Lost in the middle of the park. They have to be careful. That was what caused the goal early on in the first half. At the drive this time, Kevin Jean-Louis coming onto that shot. Long-range shots coming in from Whitty. Anywhere that time. Zinedine. He's that favoured left foot there, Whitty, for Mozambique, a team that were unlucky not to qualify for those Africa Cup of Nations over the summer. It's come third in their group. It's, because of a last-minute goal conceded to Guinea-Bissau. It was a 2-2 draw, and as a result, they ended up third, only going out on inferior head-to-heads. So it was a real blow for them. And other recent competitive action from Mozambique was a loss in the Chan, which is the competition for domestic-based players. Losing 1-0 away, winning 3-2 at home. Wasn't enough for them. So Patel on his feet early on. Mozambique in control of the second half so far. Gasso just making sure everything is in order. Witty drives it in. Just about to deal with that, but Villeneuve can't quite get to the ball. What was there? A penalty. It's a rash challenge from Perticots, but play goes on. That should be safe. Well, I say that it's just going to curl in. Doesn't go out for a goal kick. Mauritius have more defending to do. Starting to look a little bit tired already. 50 minutes gone, and the header will just drift wide. Time a poor pass from Nanga. Just a quarter of a chance, one could say, to get through, but at the back, Mexa has been impressive for Mozambique. The most experienced defender. Marcelino, the goal scorer. Good determination that time from Agat. It was just muscled out of it by Reginaldo. Villeneuve with the cross. So enough weight on that one. Chance for Mozambique on the break. Like the visitors have made a change at half-time. The number 10 is on Bolke Clesio on this right-hand side. So a solid start from the visitors in yellow. Haven't really been in control since that goal in the 7th minute from Marcelino. To change the flow of the game somehow, Mauritius getting Nabab and Nazira more in the game. Dangerous customers, but they haven't really had a sniff so far. Reginaldo is a bit more direct. Quite come off that time. Kevin Jean-Louis. A couple of hairy moments in that first half, but it's kept pretty well so far. We'll be hoping the action is at the other end. Euros, not taking any risks with that at all. 27-year-old, French youth international. Came through the youth system at Rennes, which has produced a lot of good players over the years, and now playing in Athens with Aris Salonika. He scored his first goal this year. 2-0 win against AK Athens. Need that kind of experience at the top level in Europe. Just in the Europa League places with a team from the north of Greece. It's looking good for Mozambique so far. So Bulk looking to make a nuisance of himself and takes two defenders to get the ball off him and clear. There is that slight extra technical ability among the Mozambique players, I have to say. That's what Luis Gonçalves will be looking to use. New in the job, as I was saying, Gonçalves. So far, so good. Took over from Victor Martinet, who's still part of the coaching staff in Maputo. Cross comes in, it just goes past Marcelino, and the shot goes over. It was Whitty who had a crack. He was quite right to as well. Couldn't control that shot. Maybe should have done better, one has to say. Off the left peg, and it went high and wide. They'll live to regret that. Francis. Just got under the foot of Nabab there. Ronaldo, not too much of Ronaldo so far, left back there. Also plays his football in France with Lille. Paid €3 million for the services of the left back. Surprise sum. Not paid too much so far for the team from the north of France, just 3 minutes. So a young player at Lille, be hoping will push on and be a key player for them. Champions League club, remember, this season. So Kevin Jean-Louis has had enough of the short stuff and will whack it long. It's getting a bit scrappy now. I don't think Mozambique will mind that too much. Amancio, Siddiq, to Siddiq. Controlled stuff from Mozambique, and why not? Got the early goal, no need to take any risks. Ronaldo, nice ball to Reginaldo. It's a foul that time. Two complaints from
Changement
visitors
pour
about
Maurice,
the referee.
substitution for Mauritius. Sorti, out, le numéro 9, number 9, Stéphane Nabab. In, rentrée, numéro 12, Kevin Bru.
So Kevin Bru is going to come on. It's a bit of a surprise that Bru didn't start. Experienced player, 4 years playing in the second tier in England, Kevin Bru, and he is on for Nabab, more a midfield player than a forward. See how the hosts will adjust things tactically, but no surprise that Kevin Bru is coming on. Another French-born player, born in Paris. Did the rounds also at Rennes, Châteauroux, Dion, before playing at Levski Sofia, and 4 years at Ipswich in the Championship. For English football fans out there, spent a year in Cyprus as well, much travelled before moving to Dinamo Bucharest. Actually made national headlines in England in 2015 when his dog went missing. Grizzler made an appeal on Twitter, and the dog was retrieved and found, and Kevin Brew was eternally grateful to the Ipswich Town fan who found his dog. Got a few tickets at Portman Road after, well deserved too, so Kevin Brew, an interesting history behind him. Can he change the course of this match, I wonder? More defending to do. Box not going to take it. Left it for Abdul Rafael. Perticots, who's worked so hard clearing his lines, I must say. Well, he lost the 90 minutes, I wonder. Very tired player already, still half an hour to go. And talking of tired, that's Agat that's gone down, indeed. Helped up by Bulk, it's nice to see. He played in a very good spirit this match, one has to say. This is a World Cup match. It may not be the final, but a World Cup match is a World Cup match, and it's a big game in the career of these players. Always special. It's a long, long way to those finals, of course, in Qatar. 1,173 days, to be exact. Some of these fans watching these games should be dreaming of getting to the second round, or maybe the third round. It would be a big ask to get any further than that. There's a real chance for Mozambique. It's offside. There was a chance for Mozambique with Whitty, but the flag went up straight away, you know. And no doubt, Georges Gatto saw his colleague from Burundi, and no goal there. It's clearly offside. But Whitty has lightning pace, you know. They have to look out for that, Mauritius. Plays his football for Nacional in Portugal. A bit closer than you'd expect. Second view, but there, have to see when the ball was actually kicked. So it's quite hard from that angle to see whether it was offside or not, but the referees say no, and it's still 1-0. Whitty, one of the several players based in Portugal. The strike comes in, that's a good save from Jean-Louis. Reginaldo very nearly making it 2-0 there, and a wry smile. I think he knows that was a real chance. Reginaldo, 10 yards out, perhaps should have done better, but it stays at 1-0. And a good save, probably the best save of the match so far from Kevin Jean-Louis. Mozambique really imposing themselves. Now I say that, a mistake at the back. A chance for the hosts. It was Francois making a real nuisance of himself, but he couldn't quite collect himself or keep his composure. Bok again. Tassio Bok plays in Azerbaijan for FC Gabaka. This is world football, isn't it? A game between Mauritius and Mozambique, and there's a player from Azerbaijan. Good game he has too. Here he is again with Bok. So hacked out by Agat. Plays his football locally. He's had a busy game at left back, hasn't he, the number 11. Mozambique also have a German-based player in Retifo. Plays for Forsem in the fifth flight of German football. Several in Portugal, as you might expect. Portugal, first place young players would head to when they leave the country. Mozambique from the Portuguese colony, of course, till 1975. Getting a little bit scrappy now. 25 minutes to go. Mozambique lead 1-0. The goal early on, 7th minute, from Marcelino. Amancio. to right-hand flank, but mix out. Well, doesn't need to clean up. There was an offside in there. Haven't really been troubled so far, Mozambique. The closest chance for the hosts was Nabab. The ball bobbled up quite nicely for him, but the lob went way over the bar of Frank. Apart from that, the Mozambique keeper hasn't had too much to do. And, Luis Gonçalves will be absolutely delighted with that. Ball one in the middle of the park again. Most of those 50-50s have gone the way of the yellows. Bulk. Nanga. It's Zinedine who clears long. Nice control on the chest from Ronaldo. Again, a foul, and just goes on and on, the number 9. For the moment, looking quite comfortable, Mozambique. And Mango hits long. Up to Witty. Another half chance for Mozambique, and it looks like there's a problem with Kevin Jean-Louis. As he went for that, just seemed to pull up, and has a problem with the left thigh, doesn't he? It's a good save from Bulk shot, but the result might be a problem. Doesn't look like he's doing very well, does he? Kevin Jean-Louis. So it was a good save from Bulk shot from distance, so he saved the 2-0, but that might be the end of the evening. Let's hope not. So it was a rasping shot from Bulk. Goalkeepers never like to go off, do they? Never the level of football, and certainly not in a World Cup qualifier. Kevin Jean-Louis will look to go on. So, corner is dealt with. That's a wild shot from Nanga, and an even wilder one that from Ronaldo, I think, got the final touch. Some wild shooting that time from the visitors. Let's hope that Kevin Jean-Louis can struggle on. Looks like he's just about okay. Plays his football for Pamplemousse, who are the dominant force in Mauritian football at club level. It's a foul against Nanga. That was the save. It was a good one too, wasn't it? But maybe just as he fell. Fell onto that left thigh. It's a good period for the visitors. Now Bulk is getting stronger and stronger. Say that. Just took off his toe. And Mauritius live on with a 1-0 defeat. While it's 1-0, there's always a chance, of course, but to go to Maputo 1-0 down is a tough task. But over 2 legs, away goals will count for the moment. Mauritius haven't really threatened a gut. As that top defender Rose. Really done anything wrong tonight. A bit of inspiration from somewhere. One substitute so far for the hosts, Kevin Brew, the experienced Kevin Brew coming on, number 12, middle of the screen. Hasn't really had a touch so far, but they need something from him. He's a good passer, intelligent player. Had 4 good years at Ipswich Town. Popular player. That's what I'm talking about. Nice touch it was, a give and go with Agat. Free kick. That's the man I'm talking about. Over the ball, Kevin Brew, local hero. We love their English football around here. That time comes to nothing. That was a poor cross. As I was saying, Liverpool are very popular around here. Liverpool opened an academy recently in Mauritius, only the second one in Africa, at the Anfield Club. But you know, Ipswich Town won a few fans while Kevin Brew was playing in Suffolk. Perticott's really worked so hard in this game, never given up. Poor ball by Abdul Raphael. One back illegally by Nanga. He's going to get a yellow. It's a little bit unlucky. So have to be careful for the last 20 minutes of the match. Nanga has been excellent for me, one of the best players on the pitch. Good passing, he's won a lot of 50-50s. Powerful presence in the middle of the park. But he's picked up a yellow. Kept in really well, wasn't it? By Reginaldo. Has he won a corner? Quite. Can't believe it. No, he has, in fact. It's a throw, hence Reginaldo's disappointment. So in the body language that he wasn't happy with something. It's that Mozambique getting stronger and stronger. Another yellow card for what? Quite sure. Who's it going to? Looks like it's Witty. Simply because he didn't take the throw quickly enough for Georges Gatto. So it's the Lille man Reinildo with the throw. Reinildo Mandava. Chasing back after that, but that should be Zinedine. Oh, Zinedine loses it to Reinildo. Reinildo in the box and just plays the wrong pass there. Put it on his weaker right foot. Perhaps wasn't the right decision with Reginaldo prowling, looking for a second. I wonder if Mozambique will regret that. Villeneuve scrapping away, the shortest man on the pitch. He's getting a bit scrappy now, one has to say. Hacked high by Agat. Very well won by Dorza. Been solid at the back. It's, of Mozambique.
Substitution for
another
Mauritius.
sub.
Changement pour Maurice. Sortie out, numéro 17, number 17, Emmanuel Vincent. Entrée in, number 7, le numéro 7, Andy Sophie.
So Andy Sophie coming on, more of an attacking option. And off goes Vincent, the number 17. So it's 7, Andy Sophie on. He's played 40 plus games for Mauritius over 13 years, a real veteran at the international level. 11 goals. Well, the last was 3 years ago. Andy Sophie, one of the foreign-based players, plays in Reunion. So Sophie and Nazira up front with Brew just behind them. Mauritius going for broke. They really do need a goal in these last 15 minutes. They're going to keep their hopes alive getting into that group stage. Brew just chips it in. too much pace on it, but it's caused a bit of danger. And it's going to be a corner. A couple of Mozambique players just throwing themselves at the ball, doing enough. The bad news for Mozambique is that he's limping. It's Mexer, top defender no less. I want him ready for the second leg. So a foul from the hosts. And relief for Mozambique. Mexer, yeah, Bordeaux player, certainly their top defender, and they'll need him for that second leg next Tuesday. It's quite a clever ball played in, tricky to defend. Mozambique did just enough.
Substitution for Mozambique. Changement pour le Mozambique. Sortie out, number 19, le numéro 19, Quanbo Weakness, Chimbo Tao. Entrée in, numéro 18, number 18, Kumane Kamo Kevin.
So Kamo coming on for Whitty. That left-hand side. Kevin Kamo comes on. Mozambique looking pretty serene ahead of that second leg next week. Could Mauritius do about that? It's another foul going the way of the visitors. Frustration from Nazira. Worked hard up front. He's up against two pretty good centre-backs, you know, in Mexer and Amancio. Kamo gets a bang on the head within 20 seconds of coming on. That's World Cup football for you. It's bound to be a bit physical. Rose looking for a run, looking for some space further up the pitch. Brew, experienced player. Ball over to this near-hand side, but there's no way Perticots was going to get that. So Akbar Patel, experienced coach in his fourth stint at the helm in Mauritius. Patel doesn't really have many more cards to play. Puts on two experienced players as that shot goes way over. Brew and Sophie, two of his better players, two players who might have been expected to start. So Abdul Raphael goes to the turf. Mauritius's other competitive action this year was at the Kosovo Cup, the regional cup, where they drew 2-2 with Eswatini and lost to the Comoros. A bit disappointing they didn't qualify. It's not too good for Abdul. Luis Gonçalves using every possible opportunity to give some tactical advice to Amancio. It does look like it's the end of the evening. That's a shame for Abdul Raphael. Yeah, no doubt about that. Abdul Raphael will go off.
Changement pour Mozambique. Substitution for Mozambique. Sortie out. Numéro 16, number 16, Gwambe Sadan Abdul Raphael. In, number 5, entrée numéro 5, Matsimbe Geraldo Amancio.
So you may have heard number 5 Amancio coming on. That's a mistake. Amancio is already on the pitch. So we'll just confirm who is the substitute coming on. I'm sure that'll be corrected quite soon as Brew. Lovely touch from Brew. That's the kind of skill they're looking for. Brew again, trying to do a little bit too much though. Caught in possession. What they do on the break, it's stretching the home defence. Is the ball staying in? No, just went out. It was a shame because Bulk was in a nice position there. We're into the last 10 minutes. Time running out for Mauritius. Mozambique go from right to left and back to right with Bulk again. Keeping possession, that's what they need to do from now to the end of play. Marcelino, the goal scorer there, giving the ball away. So far, he is the hero. He's been the difference. It was a good shot too. What do the hosts have left in the tank? Perticots. A very ambitious shot. Nearly fell to Nazira, didn't it? Perticots never stopped running. Brew. Villeneuve. Just to get it back to Brew. Didn't quite come off. Chance on the break for Mozambique. Not throwing too many players forward. Don't need to. It's nicely played. Renildo. Cross not quite as good as the approach play. So working really hard for it, aren't they, the visitors? Marcelino determined to go back with a clean sheet. Super ball out from Rose. Really well played. Good vision there. Can they make the most of it and create something? Villeneuve. Kevin Brew. That's a classy touch again. Does create space very well, but the ball is not good. Nicely won back though by Francis. He's just looking to get a bit of a head of steam. Villeneuve. Villeneuve with the shot. It might come, it's not over yet, and it's off the post and cleared. So close from Sophie. Villeneuve's shot was deflected, and Sophie saw his shot bounce off the post. Well, you need a bit of luck in football. Mauritius didn't get it then, did they? Villeneuve did really well just to find some space. The header from Sophie onto the post. Mauritius coming again. That's going to be rather easier to collect. Rose with the shots. Frank holding on to it. Well, one could say it was a little bit of luck that the ball came to Sophie. Took a deflection, but he did well to get ahead to it. And it bounced off the left post of Frank. He knows he's a slightly fortunate goalkeeper. Mexer just hobbling on. Mozambique just looking to run the clock down a bit there. Under a little bit of pressure, probably for the first time in this second half. in the last 5 minutes of play. 1-0 for Mozambique. They just about deserve the lead. Let's see what Mauritius have left. Francis hits it long. Villeneuve, he'll be the shortest player on the pitch, but no shortage of aggression and passion, and wins it back. Brute. He has added something in the middle of the pitch, hasn't he, Brute? Well, that foul was Agat giving the ball away. George Gatto having no doubt at all about that one. Certainly not lacking any confidence, is he, Kevin Brute? Edge of his own box. The crowd just raising their voices. They know it's now or never. They don't want to see their boys go to Maputo with a 1-0 loss. They have a mountain to climb in Mozambique. Need something here. Agat, back to Kevin Brute. Puts it in the danger area. It's a little bit more than that, I think, from Mauritius to trouble Mexer and Amancio. Worked together very well this evening. Just 3 minutes on the clock. Victory in sight for Mozambique. Brute. Clever pass it was. Sophie can't get through a mass of yellow shirts. Luis Gonçalves will be absolutely delighted if his men can hold on to a 1-0 lead. Tough times for Mozambique football after that defeat in the Chan. So qualifying for the group stage would do them huge boost. Mauritius, even if they go out, will have some AFCON qualifying to think about in October. They play Sao Tome and Principe. So for the moment, still hoping beyond hope to get into the group stage of World Cup qualifying for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The only goal so far, it seems a long time ago, doesn't it? Well, 81 minutes ago. Marcelino with a rasping drive. Agat. Going to be held. Well, it's how I was going to say that, but it was dropped terribly. What on earth was Frank doing? It was an easy catch, but for some reason it slipped out of his gloves, and just for a second it looked like Mauritius might have a chance. He knows it. Goalkeepers have to put mistakes behind them. Still some work to do for him, but my word, that was a poor mistake from a keeper who's done pretty well so far tonight. Brute. Perticots. Mozambique clear their lines again. It's going to go behind for a corner, indeed. Some hesitation for a second. George Gatto gives the corner. We're in the last minute of play. The Mauritian fans urging their players on. Kevin Brute, the former Ipswich man, puts it in the danger area, but it's cleared out by the man who scored the goal, Marcelino. A candidate for man of the match. I think Nanga's done superbly well in the middle of the park for Mozambique as well, and Mexer has been controlled at the back as we move into stoppage time. It's 1-0 to Mozambique, looking for a second one. Here's a chance down the right-hand side. Bulk, still Bulk. Seemed to hesitate there. The ball out by Villeneuve wasn't the best.
Temps additionnel minimum 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Added time minimum 3 minutes.
Says Georges Gatto. So there is a little bit of time left for the Mauritians. Akbar Patel urging his men on. A long clearance. Kevin Jean-Louis throwing everything at the men in yellow, but Mozambique are solid, one has to say. They're well organised. Camo, the substitute, doing exactly what he should do, just finding some space, burning a few seconds. Couple of minutes to play now. Rose looks up, who has some energy left in the tank. Percy Cox has worked tirelessly, has to say. Rose again, there are 3-4 in the box, but there's an offside. That's desperately disappointing for Mauritius.
Substitution for Mauritius. Changement pour Maurice. Sortie du numéro 13, out number 13, Kevin Pertico. Entrée numéro 18, in number 18, Adrien Botla.
Pertico comes off. He really has worked hard.
For Mozambique.
And there's a change for Mozambique as well.
Out number 9, numéro 9,
Reginaldo is off.
Entrée number 25, entrée numéro 25, Ratifo Stanley.
On comes Stanley, really just to kill a few more seconds. We are deep into stoppage time. 1-0 to Mozambique ahead of that second leg in Maputo next week. Looking very good for Luis Gonçalves' team. Hacked up again, but again, dealt with by the Mozambique back four, who've been solid so far. Bulk again. Villeneuve still fighting, still scrapping. Last chance from Mauritius. Well, they're not going to get it. Well defended again. And here comes Bulk again. Seems to get stronger and stronger. The attacking midfield player, I say that, the ball's not the best. Agat cuts it out. We're in the last 15 seconds. It is now or never. That's a fine tackle, it really is. Brilliant work from Reginaldo. Marcelino, excuse me, and I think he's got a bit of a knock going down. Well, we don't want any nasty play or violence at the end, but it is in danger of boiling over here. Well, the reason is Marcelino went down. Marcelino's tackle was good, and I think he did get a knock. And the Mauritian players not happy that he took so long to get up. Frustration boiling over, no more than that. I don't think Marcelino did anything too wrong there. Just getting a little bit of treatment. I'm sure George Gatto will add on the necessary time. And there's going to be time for one last free kick. Kevin Brew is going to take it. This was the challenge. I think it was a fair one, it was a good one, but he did get a kick there. It's the left ankle. Excuse me, it's not a free kick, it's a throw, and that's not good news for Mauritius. One last chance to put it in the box. It's now or never for the men in red. Hacked out by Mexer has been brilliant tonight. There's an infringement there somewhere, and it's going to Mauritius. Mozambique can't quite believe it. I said that was the last chance. Maybe I was wrong. There might be one last opportunity. Kevin Brew trots over. Disappointed not to be in the starting lineup. Player with vast experience in several European leagues. Oh, here we go. Surely it is now or never for Mauritius. They trail 1-0. Mauritius thwarted again. It was well dealt with. And Mozambique have the victory. It's a 1-0 win on the road with a brilliant early goal from Marcelino, a right-footed strike from distance. Mauritius gave it everything after that. Nabab came pretty close, but one has to say that Mozambique had a little bit too much class and technical ability. They have the 1-0 win. Reginaldo nearly made it 2 in the second half. Bulk had a good shot saved as well. And a 1-0 win for Mozambique on the road. The second leg is next week in Maputo, the capital, and no doubt Mozambique, the big favourites. There's the match winner today, Marcelino, 7th minute, and he will be the hero on that 6-hour flight home to Mozambique. They don't look too happy. They know the job is not quite done yet. But there's a victory for Mozambique. They lead 1-0 after the first leg and are big favourites to go through to the group stage. You're watching final pictures from the Stade Angelais in Bellevue in Mauritius, where Mozambique have come. They've done the job with a 1-0 win.
Hey,